In a world full of noise, two voices rise above the chaos. Ron and Brian. They speak truth. They stir thought. They accidentally help. News, nonsense, and necessary self-care. Join the cult of Ron and Brian, because the work is so important.
And good evening, everybody. It is Sunday night, a freezing cold Sunday night here in the Northeast, and we are ready for episode 389 of the Cult of Ron and Brian podcast. Brian, how are you? How are you holding up during this weekend Snowmageddon 2026?
Listen, it has been treacherous. It's been dangerous at times, and yet at the same time, I have experienced in the past 24 hours moments of humanity that reminds me of just how important it is to surround yourself with neighbors that love you and you love. The sense of community here in the Ivory Tower has it just I would tell you about it, but you would never be able to understand as somebody who lives in the gated community outside of Philadelphia.
Give us one story that has really warmed your heart from your section of the world, Brian.
Earlier this afternoon, my lady and I were sitting on the couch watching some television when we heard a little knock on the door. And we sat there and said, "Oh, I wonder what it is." Open the door. It was a couple down the hall. Apparently, they all like they made cookies and were going door to door handing out cookies to knowing that their neighbors were going to be inside hunkered down because of the storm. They were just going around to just saying hello to everyone, making sure everybody had anything that they needed food wise, grocery wise, and they were just handing out these amazing chocolate chip cookies they had made from scratch. I believe it was my friends over in 26418. Just a lovely couple. I didn't quite catch their names. They did not write it down or whatever, but it's like that kind of thing doesn't happen in Philadelphia adjacent. You're more likely going to find a cracked out, fentanyl addicted homeless person bent over in half, thinking, having strayed a couple steps away from the alley that they spend most of their time in Kensington.
Do you think perhaps they were maybe scouting your apartment, seeing what might be good to rob from you the next time you're out?
Oh, Ron, if you are interested, please go to anywhere on the internet and look up the crime statistics in my area. Very low. There's no casing of apartments here. It was, you're so jaded. You so hate humanity that to you, you just cannot imagine an environment.
I can't wrap my head around it.
It just causes you to break mentally. Here in the Ivory McTower, this is what we do. We take care of each other because we are one.
All right.
And now I get to shift my focus to the Cult of Ron and Brian. I think we're going to have a great episode. Ron, you do not look like you have. You're not covered in snow. I figured you would be plowing the driveway, the street in front of you. How are you handling the blizzard of 26?
It was a good amount of snow. We shoveled like 4 times today to stay ahead of things, but then it did kind of trail off into sleet and freezing rain, which made it just an absolute mess out there. Then the winds came in, blew all the snow off our roof back onto our driveway and walkway. So we just called it a night, and we got a lot of it off, but we'll finish it tomorrow. We'll dig the cars out tomorrow, but it is absolutely freezing out here, and it's going to remain that way for the rest of this week, it looks like.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope that you guys get your act together. Have they started plowing your neighborhood?
We saw a little truck with a little plow go down the street earlier today. Earlier when I was walking the dog after dinner, there was a couple of cars that got stuck at the end of the street. So this road is basically impassable at this point.
Got it. Now, I have a question, because I've been in your neighborhood before. Do they label what the primary streets are, the secondary and the tertiary? By the way, during snowstorms is the only time the word tertiary gets used universally. Everybody seems to know tertiary
Sure.
when there's a snowstorm, but during non-weather events, they always say, "Oh, the thing after second."
The back roads.
Yeah, do you know, do they tell you what the order is in terms of them getting the snow off the roads?
I mean, the only thing they really say is that the snow emergency routes get hit first. Like those are the roads that get
Okay.
plowed first, and then
Mhm.
other main roads. I mean, we are what's less than tertiary because we are below tertiary, I believe.
Oh, what is, I mean, like, what is the fourth priority?
Like, is
I
there
couldn't
a
even tell you. I've never
quadri?
heard that. Or hold on a second, because I do want to speak, about the possibility of, is it possible that your gated community is ranked, not a high priority first, neighborhood to be shelved out, because they know that people in your, gated community, are so affluent and have so many resources available to them that you probably, you're not worried about leaving, because you already have all the groceries, perishables, and food and alcohol, that there's no reason for you to have to leave. Whereas the people in the other neighborhoods have to leave early so they could deliver Walmart groceries to your door, as you have, spoken, countless times, on the
Uh,
podcast.
all I can say is, Brian, you ignorant slut. We do not have gates in our community, but
Oh,
yes, we did stock up at the grocery store to make sure that we were set. As far as the other people in the community, I can't say. I mean, we had nothing delivered today. We wouldn't have done that. I believe I even saw DoorDash shut down in New York City around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
wouldn't know. Don't use DoorDash. Don't believe in it. It's modern day slavery. Ron, when you went to the supermarket, did you see the results of any panic buying? I've seen videos online, TikTok, Instagram, of crazy lines outside supermarkets, people showing up. Anything refrigerated gone, frozen food gone. Did you notice that in your supermarket at all? Because I didn't when I went. My lady and I, we went on Thursday, which obviously was a little sooner. I think I went Friday for a quick one, but I didn't see any level of panic buying.
So we stopped at one of our local stores on Saturday morning, and yeah, everything was in stock. We were able to
Yeah.
pick up
Okay.
everything we needed. So I
Hmm.
did not see anything. Now again, I mean, you go to Erewhon, I believe. Your average grocery bill is about $500. So I can imagine, that is, that kind of location keeps those high end items in stock that you like. You got your
Not
caviar,
true.
right? Like, I know you were so upset last winter
No,
when you got snowed in, you ran out of your caviar.
not true. Not true. Don't like caviar. Don't know that I've ever tried it. No, I'm sure I've tried
Okay.
it. I've had some kind of like pastor hors d'oeuvres or whatever at some party. What are we doing here? It's 8:38. I'm thirsty.
All right. Well, let's get going with drink of the week, my
Drink of
friend.
the week.
Na zdrowie!
Salud.
Drink of the week.
Prost.
Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week.
Brian, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'm drinking tonight. Last week, some eagle-eyed viewers were pointing out I have been inundated with some of the Asian beers. The last
True.
couple weeks, I've tended to not look to the local breweries the way you do. I look externally. I like to go global. I am a 21st century netizen. This week, I stay in the Far East. This time, I'm going to Korea. That's right, Ron. This week's beer is a wit ale from our friends over at Jeju Brewery in South Korea. This is a 5 point. Hold on. Let me show you what this beautiful thing looks like. Can you get a?
Ooh.
Can you zoom in, Matt? Can you please zoom in so you can see what this beer looks like? Look at that fucking beauty. Hold on, let me describe this for you so you have an idea. This is a Belgium-style white ale from South Korea, launched originally in 2017. It is produced by Jeju Beer Company, an affiliate, here we go, local, of Brooklyn Brewery. It is crafted using organic Jeju tangerine peel, providing a citrusy, crisp, and refreshing flavor profile with light-bodied, moderate carbonation. You're going to get some malted wheat. You're going to get barley. I smell a little coriander, but there's that citrus. I'm expecting some subtle hints of spice. Let me take a sip. Beer
Please
Advocate
do.
gives this. Beer Advocate scores this an 84. Let's see what Brian scores it.
We are all interested to hear how you like it.
It's a little bitter. There is a bitter aftertaste. Not similar to an IPA bitterness, but there is a bitterness that I'm not really responding to. It's not bad, but not great either. I would give this 2.5 out of 5.
Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Absolutely.
All right.
And because it's football season, I've got my trusty football bottle of Crown Royal. I think this is the blueberry, which I'll be doing a shot throughout the show. Ron, may I ask you a question?
You may.
What are you drinking?
Well, Brian, as you mentioned, I am a friend of local breweries, small breweries. You were telling me the other day, you're like, Ron, I get so many federal subsidies. I can't worry about the little man. I can't worry about small business. I have to kowtow to my corporate masters in Asia, Russia, all of that. Well, no, Brian, I am keeping it local yet again. The good folks at Attic Brewing down in Philly. They just recently celebrated their 6-year anniversary. So I'm celebrating with them by bringing a can of their Tits Out Hoppy Lager. Brian, this is brewed for breast cancer awareness. I know you have often said you typically root for cancer. Well, these guys are helping to fight it, and proceeds from the sale of this can go to help fight, go to breast cancer research here in the great state of Pennsylvania. It is, very lagery looking body, 4.8%, so not too heavy on the alcohol. I've had this before on tap, haven't had it out of the can, so let's see.
All right, take a sip, mull it around.
Oh, it's good. It's very good. It's a little bit, again, a little bit more bitter than your typical lager, but you definitely get the hoppiness. It's thumbs up for me.
Okay, I like that. Take a deep sip. What was the alcohol content on it?
Only 4.8%. So you could consider it crushable.
You are going to be fine for After Dark. Ron, there is still 47 minutes left into this show. People can enjoy, those watching live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, enjoy this show. But I want you to know, this is not the only show that Ron and I are doing this evening.
Correct.
Right after this show, Ron's going to go walk the dog. I'm going to go to the bathroom and urinate because I have a small prostate. No, I have a large prostate. Edit that out, Matt.
Sure.
Do it in post. I've got a large prostate, so therefore I have to go pee. But then at 9:30 New York time, we're going to be doing After Dark. This is our Sunday show where it is behind the paywall because it is the last Sunday of every month. We're doing a pajama party where we're inviting our patrons.
Let's do it.
So every other month we alternate. 1 month we're going to play a game called Can You Beat Ron, where our Patreon friends come on and really challenge the brain of this man over here to my left. And on the other months, Ron puts together a killer game that I stress myself out over, usually start to perspire 5 minutes into, ending in a full drenched back, at which point I blow a legendary lead and lose.
Lose spectacularly, usually.
That's a shame.
All right. Well, let's keep things rolling here, Brian. We've got Beef of the Week coming up.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week? Oh, take that sip of Crown Royal. Go right ahead.
Ooh, that's good. I'll tell you something. It is something that it's not just something that's happened this week. This is something that's happened throughout my life, but it needs to be heard. Happened to me yesterday, and it is still bothering me.
Okay.
Bad pizza. I don't know if we
Ooh.
tackle the subject of bad pizza.
Not in a while. Not in a while, I don't think.
There is something about, and this could just be a personal experience, but based on the volume of pizza that is eaten by the citizens of this world, I'm going to say that people like pizza. I don't think I'm going out on a limb. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn.
The bold stance, but I think you might have something.
I love a good pizza. So yesterday I was out for dinner with some friends of the show included. And we went to a pizzeria that was near a concert venue that we were going to be attending a show at. We go in. Ron, I don't know what your move is when you're trying out a new pizzeria. I always go with a plain slice or a plain pie.
Okay.
I use that as a test to see what kind of pizza are you creating. Anybody can hide a bad pizza behind like a buffalo chicken slice, where you're going to put, like pieces of grilled or breaded chicken, douse it in buffalo wing sauce and put some ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing on it and then melt it on top. A cheese slice, you can't hide bad pizza from. So I got 2 slices yesterday. I had a cheese slice and I got a sausage slice. First off, and this is a sign that you're not at a good pizzeria. All the pies that were on the counter, the cheese had already coagulated on. There was not. I usually walk in and look.
They weren't moving product, is what you were saying.
I look for the freshest looking pie, even if it's something I wouldn't necessarily want. But I'm like, this is the one that's most recent come in. They all looked like they had like the cheese had become just a sheet of material. Anywho, so got the cheese, sat down, ate it. Just fucking bland. Wasn't god awful. Wasn't bad enough that you would throw it out, but it just had no flavor to it. So I was basically eating bread with some tomato sauce that had no flavor to it. So it was just providing some moisture and then a sheet of melted cheese on top. It doesn't have to be bad. There's no reason why in today's age you can't operate a pizzeria and provide a sauce that is adding value, adding flavor to a pizza. This was not. The sausage pie wasn't, the sausage slice, pardon me, wasn't so bad. The sausage was providing a lot of flavor. But the cheese slice, just let me know, this is not a good pizzeria, and it shouldn't be. And I've had this experience too many times, especially since coming out to New Jersey in my area. The immediate area, the pizzerias that deliver have not been great. So
there's too many places out there that just think like pizza is this easy thing. Like, all right, we'll just roll out some dough. We'll put the cheapest sauce we can on it. We'll put the cheapest cheese we can on it, and we'll just throw it in the oven. And it's not. Listen, it's one of those things that shouldn't be difficult, but I think people try to make it harder than it is.
Well, I think they're trying to save money by using a cheaper product. But you always wonder, the people that work there, do they know that they're putting out a shitty pizza? Like, do they know, well, this is garbage, and I feel bad for everybody that comes in here?
I feel if it's New York, I feel like they have to, because like if you're in a smaller, more rural area, like you don't have a lot of selection of pizza,
right?
But you've got some of the best pizza in the world in New York City and the boroughs. So it's like
really disappointing.
I'm sure they've gone places where they're like, yeah, this pizza is much better than the pizza we make.
Yeah, it's a real shame. That's my beef. Ron, if I may ask you, what's bothering you this week?
I mean, I feel almost bad bringing this up and bringing it up in this setting. But
Why?
my beef this week is with with your partner. And by partner, that can be a friend, that can be a spouse, that can be a podcast co-host. When they don't match your social media clout, and it's a challenging thing to have to really address.
Sure, of
So we've been putting more clips of the show on
course.
TikTok and Facebook
Yep.
and Instagram and all that. And so last week we put both of our stories of the week out there. And
Mhm.
so, my story of the week was the ski jumpers using penile enlargement, and as you can see, took off almost 664,000 views, 444,000 plus forwards, 85,000 reactions, almost 200 days worth of watching time, and we picked up 175 followers from that. In the meantime, Brian, I believe we also put up your story of the week as well.
Sure.
Not quite the same amount of traction, about 1,900 views, 22 reactions, almost 9 hours of watch time compared to almost 200 days, and no additional followers. So, it feels like I get that, I've got 51%, you've got 49%,
Sure.
but it feels like if I were to break down the percentages of this, just 99% to 1%.
Hmm.
Just yeah,
Eagle-eyed viewer, Guy Bannister below here, he has a comment, Ron. Let's see if you can refute. He said, anybody can buy views and followers online nowadays. Not impressed. Is this not an example where effort was made? I'm not gonna say collusion. I'm not going to say because that I don't think is an appropriate term here. But do you do you not understand the possibility? And let's be brutally honest, more likely the
right.
probability that you put together a coordinated campaign where you paid for views. This has
Um,
been, this is something that has been, seen quite often in the entertainment industry. We understand that these
right.
are the last dying days of your championship, and quite often kings, as they fall, start reaching out for desperate measures, attempts to try to hold on to their power, to appear that they are better than they are. We know Donald Trump is, now sitting behind desks that don't show his
story.
So I will say two things. Number one, no, I did not spend any money to amplify that. And two, I would argue that not anybody can pay per views. I don't think you could have paid people to watch your video. Clearly, is what the numbers show.
May I try another attempt to defend myself?
Please do. We've got 37 minutes.
When you go low, Ron, I go high. Your story of the week played to the most base level of interest on the internet. You brought some sophomoric story, some type of salacious details of a ski jumper who apparently was like injecting his penis or his uniform so they make his penis smaller or larger. I wasn't really paying much attention, but the point
You
was
really have,
is that
you really captured the essence of the story so well.
it responds well to the internet of today, but I'm not sure that that is something that you should be proud of. Whereas if you contrast that with the story I brought, which was medical in nature, it was informative, and it was basically promoting general health, the importance of colonoscopies and the importance of cleaning up after your colonoscopy. I understand this may not be popular with the people on the internet, but it's something that people need to hear. Sometimes you can't just spoon feed them garbage like a Jerry Springer, if you would. Sometimes you have to be informative, and that may not be the most give you the most clicks and views, but you know you've done the right thing. I hold my head up high in that comparison.
All right. Well, I would say let's get to it then. Let's get to your story of the week this week. So maybe you can show me how it's done.
What are you talking about? I am going to once again go high. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to deliver a classy story, one that informs and yet at the same time educates.
Okay.
Ooh, excuse me. That was a burp. If you have a moment, Ron, please allow
Yes.
me to take you all the way out to Arizona. I believe it took place in Cochise County, specifically a Sierra Vista parking lot, where this is where it gets a little tricky. An Arizona father confronted a top county lawyer for allegedly taking a perverted video of his 12-year-old daughter inside of a Target and then masturbating to the footage in the parking lot. Paul Correa, a former Cochise County chief civil deputy county attorney, was caught on police body cam trying to awkwardly smooth talk his way out of the depraved situation this past December 17th when the dad called cops to the parking lot. Correa, 59, I believe that is his photo you are looking at right there. I'm going to say this. For 59, the man does not have a lot of gray hair. I'm not trying to, distract from the story, but that's a good head of hair for 59. He blamed the father for being confused, saying that he thinks he saw something, but he's confused. He's angry. He thinks I was in the store recording his daughter with my phone, Correa is seen on the video. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. When officers asked Correa why the father would think that, disgraced lawyer responded, I had my phone out, maybe. I don't know what he thinks he saw. Correa was arrested after police were able to get access into his phone. And they found a video on his phone, which covered a 40-minute period where he was videotaping people in the store, including the young girl. Ron, listen, we all love going outside. We love going to stores. I know you love going to Target, Home Goods, Home Sense, TJ Maxx, Marshalls.
At home.
Now, at any point, have you ever gotten caught for masturbating in your car after videotaping 12-year-old girls? I know I haven't.
I can't say that I have either.
Well, nobody would believe you, Ron. The important message here, people, once again, I go high. I bring education to this podcast. Always be aware of your surroundings when you're out in public. Not everybody can be trusted. Be aware if you're bringing your small children into a retail environment. Be aware of adults that are in the vicinity of them. Make sure that nobody is videotaping them, taking photos, whatnot. And if you do find somebody doing it, please go to the parking lot and videotape them masturbating in the car. I mean, the thing for me with this story is just the fact that he couldn't even wait to get home to start masturbating. I don't know what footage he had on that phone from his trip to Target, but it must have been so good in his mind that he immediately ran to just masturbate. And at 59, having the urge to masturbate, I mean, usually you need to build yourself up to the will for that. You've got to, set aside a block of time on the calendar, not something you do impromptu.
I mean, do you think maybe he had taken a Blue Chew and that was why there was kind of a sense of urgency?
Ooh. Listen, as somebody, I don't know, I wouldn't know about taking those. I've never had that problem, but I have seen a lot of ads for Blue Chew Gold, which is apparently like the next level in erectile dysfunction that's being marketed to 20-year-olds. Rod, I'm assuming you will do a full product review next week during our episode. Ron, what's your story of the week?
So my story of the week, Brian, goes out to Connecticut, where police say a snowplow driver was high on cocaine when he crashed into a home last month. This was back on December 28th. Police say Mark Paul Keene veered off the road, went across 2 lawns, hit a porch and a Christmas tree, and then pushed a car into a family's garage door. Here is a mugshot photo of Mr. Keene.
Yeah.
Court documents say that he had, quote, slurred speech and pinpoint pupils, and he suddenly collapsed in the snow, beginning to foam at the mouth and turned blue, prompting an officer to administer Narcan. Prosecutors say that Keene later said that he did 3 bumps of cocaine and had no recall of the incident. He was taken into custody a week later and has been charged with reckless driving and operating under the influence.
Question: what type of cocaine is going to knock you out or cause you to black out if you've after 3 bumps? I've never done cocaine. Don't know, but he doesn't look like a cocaine user. He does not look like somebody into the cocaine. He looks like somebody more likely the cocaine. I don't do cocaine. Cocaine. But he looks like somebody that would be more likely to be doing inhaling some type of crystal methamphetamine,
like huffing, maybe like spray paint in a paper bag.
Do you remember those old photos of the people that were arrested for huffing, where they had like gold? They had all like the fucking hell, man! I miss the old internet. It was so much better. So I found myself recently. Have you ever? And I don't want to tangential take away the story because there is a lot we need to get to. But I found myself recently in a position where I was talking to somebody, and it became very clear that our social media presence were very different. Our algorithms were not aligned in any way. This was somebody who did not understand why my algorithm was so filled with Indian people getting run over by trains. I assumed everybody was sitting there watching those videos. They were like, what do you mean, like Indian people getting run over by trains? I literally went to Instagram, went to like the search thing, scroll through. Within like 5 seconds, I had a video of some guy walking on the side of the railroad tracks as a train literally just clips him and he goes flying. Those videos were everywhere. And it was one of those moments where like you just look at other people and you're like, my God, you are not as disturbed as I am. Like you live in a world where it's just like, you're looking at motivation quotes, you're looking at puppies, like I'm looking at just people dying industrial. If I see a CCTV video of a guy in a warehouse or a plant of some type where he's approaching some kind of rolling machine, I'm you're locked in.
You are watching that.
I want to watch his bones be pulverized as he's whipped around 100 revolutions a minute. It's fun stuff for me, Ron.
Is it?
Oh, I love that.
I mean,
shit.
you send me some things without a doubt. You send me some things during the week that I'm just like, sometimes I can just tell by the thumbnail. I'm like, I can't open this. I don't want this in my life. I don't want this in my algorithm.
Sometimes I can't figure out whether you actually watched it or not. And it still makes me feel good just to know that you have it available to you should you decide to watch it. Like if there's a video of a woman breastfeeding a doll, that's being forwarded to you. I don't even give a shit. I'm not even going to watch. It's zero titillation to me. But if I see something like that, I'm like, this should be on
zero titillation to you. No excitement in your pants whatsoever for that.
Not at all. You know me. I love cooking videos, Ron. If there's a good cooking video, I will forward it to you. Hands down. That is something much more interesting to me.
I mean, that is true. You have sent me quite a few.
There you go. What else? Listen, what's going on in the world this week? What do we have to talk about?
We've got so many ICE stories this week, Brian. Let's just get into them. First off, ICE officials have allowed a suspect in a $100 million jewelry heist to self-deport, avoiding trial. This is Hassan Nilon Priscilla Flores, He was one of 7 people charged last year with stalking a armored truck to a rural freeway rest stop north of LA and stealing $100 million worth of diamonds, emeralds, gold, rubies, and designer watches back in 2022. He faced up to 15 years in federal prison if convicted on all charges. But ICE deported him in late December after he requested voluntary departure. So
Really?
apparently, federal prosecutors were never contacted by ICE, even though this man was in the system as facing charges and had a trial date set and everything else. But yeah, so he has been deported to Chile during a December 16th immigration hearing, and we will probably never see this gentleman again. People also feel that he probably was able to sneak out of the country with some of that money in a bank account somewhere.
Oh, well, it's everything's gone to shit.
Is that
That's
your
what I have
answer?
to say. That is my
All right.
answer. Can you deny it? I mean, here's the case of a guy that should be in prison, if I'm not correct.
Should at very least be facing trial to see if he should go to prison. But
I thought he was
will,
definitely guilty of it.
No, he was one of 7 suspects, but he will probably never see the inside of a courtroom at this point.
Fucking what a mess! What a fucking mess we live in. Keep going.
Next up, a former employee contracted by ICE at a detention center in Louisiana has pleaded guilty to sexual abusing a Nicaraguan woman who was a detainee on multiple occasions over the span of a number of months. David Corvell had been charged with a single count of sexual abuse of a ward or individual in federal custody, which entails a maximum prison sentence of 15 years and a fine of up to $250,000. Court documents detail that Corvell engaged in a relationship with the aforementioned detainee beginning at the beginning of 2025. And then from around May until July of 2025, he used his influence over her to force her into sexual contact on multiple occasions. During this time, he also smuggled gifts like food, jewelry, letter, and pictures of the detainee's daughter into the detention center.
Just to quote you there, because I want to sure I got your wording correct. He smuggled in gifts such as food.
Yes.
Food is considered a gift. So
I
you're
mean,
telling me that if you are detained by ICE, any type of food that you receive at that moment is something you should be eternally grateful for and should offer up sexual favors in return. Like that's the
Pretty much.
level where we've hit. The food is now considered a gift.
And also, when initiating sexual encounters, he arranged other detainees to serve as lookouts in the hopes that he would not get caught.
So he knew he was doing something wrong, and he actually had a this is a ring. He had a whole setup here.
He had a whole thing going on. Exactly.
Did he have an excuse for not having an upper lip? Like, was that a some type of surgical procedure gone wrong? Because from his mugshot, it appeared he had no upper lip.
I'm not seeing anything in the article about that. Maybe
Okay.
Matt can look into that
That's fine.
and get back to you later on.
Understood. I'll accept that. What else? I'm sure. Listen, that's terrible, Ron, and I'm sure that's the worst thing that ICE has done this week. Again, extending America's tragedy of 2026. ICE out of control. Sexually harassing and raping detainees. Unacceptable. And with that, we close our reasons why ICE is terrible. Let's move on to something a little bit more heartwarming.
You know, I wish that was the case, Brian. We've got a couple of additional stories. We're going to Minnesota, where a 2-year-old girl was taken into custody with her father in Minneapolis. And then they just decided to fly this 2-year-old to Texas. The child's transfer to Texas took place despite a court order requiring her immediate release. The toddler's father, identified as Elvis Tipon Echeverria, remains in custody. Thankfully, they did manage to follow the court order eventually, fly this 2-year-old back to Minnesota. Now, this is also comes on the heels of federal agents taking 5-year-old Liam Cuneo Ramos in the driveway of his home in Minneapolis. He was held and used as bait to lure his father out of the house. So ICE could capture both of them and put both of them on a plane to Texas, where both the father and the 5-year-old currently remain.
I thought this story was going to be heartwarming, Ron. You promised me that you were going to provide me with a heartwarming story, not something where ICE is using children as bait.
I wish I had something better to tell you, but I don't, because we have our final ICE story, and of course the biggest ICE story, yet another execution of an American citizen by ICE agents in Minnesota. I forget, drawing a blank on the gentleman's name. Help me out here, Brian.
Oh, I have no idea. Guy killed by ICE. Hold on. Literally, that's all I. No, that's the guy that was killed by the ICE skate. Never mind. I went too far. Alex Preddy, P-R-E,
Yes.
Alex Jeffrey Preddy, an ICU nurse who works at the Minneapolis VA hospital. So a real son of a bitch, as we like to call him, us law and order type of people, the people that we want to come down and really want to make America safe from are VA nurses. Yes, those are the people who are really fucking things up in this country.
So video showed that he was an observer at a protest, an anti-ICE protest. He had a phone in one hand. He was attempting to assist a woman who was being pepper sprayed by ICE agents. They took him to the ground and then basically fired multiple shots into him. He was carrying a gun, which he had a permit for. But
Right.
Video seems to show ICE officers securing the gun, taking it off of him, and then still beating him and then shooting him to death. I think he was shot at least 5 or 6 times.
Jesus Christ. So fucking sad. What I don't get, I mean, listen, there is a lot I don't get. A lot I don't understand. I don't understand what are the rules. What are the rules that ICE agents have been instructed as to what, there are rules of war, that are given out to our military members as to criteria that must be met before, they have the clearance to use a firearm in any way. There's a term for it. It's late on Sunday. I don't know.
Well, there's rules of engagement, I think.
There you go. Thank you, Ron. You left me out there trying to make me look bad. Why? Because you want a soundbite for our debate next week. You're trying to make me look bad, but it's just I don't understand. There's been no communication to the American public about what ICE is authorized to do, what they are not authorized to do, what education, what training they're being given. It has intentionally been kept from the American public. We're just automatically, as American citizens, and those who are here living in this country legally or not, regardless of whether they're citizens or not, have just been told by the current administration, if somebody claims to be working for ICE, just comply with whatever they say. Just automatically trust them.
And to your point, I mean, most people seem to be arguing that ICE should follow typical law enforcement procedures. One of which is that once someone has been disarmed, they should no longer be considered a threat to where deadly force needs to be used against them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that's the scary part.
Clearly, this again, this is 3 weeks after the execution of Renee Good, also in the streets of Minnesota. Someone that wasn't, again, not presenting an immediate threat to any ICE officers. And to your point,
Right.
you're asking questions about, what qualifications do these guys need? A pulse and an ability to sign their name. Like you have, you've got these guys, all of them look to be either mentally or physically out of shape one way or another.
Sure.
I believe I always like the term people are saying, it's Gravy Seal 6, because that's how fat some of these guys are.
Yeah. Well, it also just feels as if and the other thing that the other comment, which is what screening has gone into place to weed out bad actors into this group. There are so many steps. We did a story last week, I believe it was, on a New York police officer who had recently passed out of the academy, and apparently she was about to get tossed because she had previously had an OnlyFans, and this was something that was seen as so unbecoming of an officer of the New York public. What are we doing about ICE agent? Are these people allowed to have a criminal past? Are these people being screened out for having any type of affiliations with organizations that may not be the types to represent the American people? This is our federal government. This is the government we elected. This is not some type of Donald Trump's vision for America. This is our federal government. ICE existed long before Donald Trump, and it just has literally become, over the past year, this heavily militarized, heavily invasive, used as a tool to punish, and I'll just say it, to punish democratic states, democratic cities that have a high minority population. I don't see any type of announcements from the federal government that ICE is being sent to Alabama or to Nebraska or South Dakota. No, they're being sent to states that voted Democratic, into cities that voted Democratic, under the guise that there's this crime problem that existed during Trump's first term, putting pandemic aside, that has existed for years, but suddenly under Trump's second administration, this is something that has become the nation's top priority, is sending ICE into Democratic cities. Send them into a Republican one, and my argument drops, and I don't have a problem. But what is the criteria for how they're being sent?
Well,
don't know.
And
they're just
and
being
there's
sent
also
to flood cities.
There's no accountability, and you look at the Renee Good case, the Minneapolis police were not allowed to investigate this. Everything was being kept on a federal level. And now, I don't know if you saw this 2 days ago, the acting FBI supervisor of the Public Corruption Squad in the Minneapolis field office resigned because of the pressure that was on her to discontinue this investigation into Jonathan Good, the ICE officer that killed Renee Good.
It makes no fucking sense to me.
And I don't think they've named the shooter or shooters in this most recent shooting, but Jonathan Ross and whoever was involved in this shooting, I hope they experience no peace again in their lives. I hope
they will.
Friends and family
I guarantee you they will.
Peace again in their lives. I wish nothing but the worst for them.
I guarantee you that these guys are sitting there patting themselves on the back. I guarantee it.
Well,
why?
It's going to be very interesting to see, what happens. Again, the way that even conservatives are starting to swing against this. NRA came out and made a public statement saying this guy was a licensed gun owner. The Minneapolis Gun Owners Caucus, again, a traditionally conservative group, said we don't support this. So now you're getting not just the left, but you're getting people. You go on Reddit on the conservatism page
Sure.
on Reddit, and people are like, what are we fucking doing? What are we supporting? This is
Right.
exactly what the Second Amendment was for. It was for
Right.
us, the citizens, to be able to protect ourselves against tyranny from our government. And that's exactly what we're fucking seeing right now.
You are absolutely correct. We are dealing with a federal government that is using a militarized segment of the government to punish the American people, certain aspects of the American people. Like I said, ICE isn't being sent to Georgia right now. They are not, as far as I'm concerned, it's not being publicized, but it is being heavily publicized by the federal government that they're being sent to Democratic cities.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And they're killing American citizens. What is the criteria to kill an American citizen? ICE's job is to enforce immigration law in this country, not to kill American citizens. Where is it written? What are the rules here for them to become judge, jury, and executioner of an American citizen? Because police officers don't have that. They have to justify every shooting they have. And there's you have a federal government starting at the very top, all the way through the head of our Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, who we know likes to kill her dogs. Before the dust has settled, before the gunpowder has evaporated from the air, immediately rushing to the defense of the ICE agents, saying that they were defending themselves against a domestic terrorist.
Yeah. The lies and the untruths. Why even bother telling the truth anymore?
Hold on. Ron, what do you think next week you and I figure out how we apply for to become ICE agents?
All right.
Just go through the process. How does one become an ICE agent? I'm going to look into it this week. If there's an online application, I'm doing it. Go for it.
All right. Also, coming up next week, we will be having a special Monday night episode next week. We will not be live on Sunday. We'll be live on Monday night at 8:00, where we will once again engage in a war of words as we have our annual podcast championship debate. This always happens in the week leading up to the Super Bowl. As we prepare for the Super Bowl bet, which will determine who gets to continue.
Are you okay? Oh, no, listen, boss, if you're not okay, if you're going to drop dead from coughing, I will take on the that title belt. Wow, William is mean. Could Brian pass a physical? I'd like you to know I did 45 minutes on the elliptical, starting at level 8, ending at level 14. So I'm getting in shape, you bum. How dare you? How dare you? Ron, that belt does look very pretty on your shoulders. I'm not gonna lie. I can almost feel what it will be like when you have to put it in the box. And we do our every, what do they call it, quadrennial box opening here in West New York, where I get to open that belt. I don't know if I said it right. Or I open up the box to reveal that the belt has returned to New Jersey.
Well, Brian, we are a little over a week away from our debate. Again, it will be 8:00 next Monday night. We will be joined by Marty, the moderator, yet again. I did have an opportunity to sit down with her last night, kind of go over some of her preparation, go over some of the questions she's getting ready to put together. It will be, as always, a very fair and impartial.
Time out.
Yes.
You spent time with the moderator without my presence to discuss the questions from the
maybe not the questions, but just
debate?
to see how she was coming along with her preparations. If there was any way I could assist her. I'm an English major, Brian. Sometimes I help punch up some grammar, things of that.
You're writing her questions for her.
No, Brian, you're putting words in my mouth.
Oh, the collusion that goes on during our annual podcast debates between you and Marty, the moderator. This is offensive on so many different levels. I feel like Bernie and you're Hillary. And eventually we all know something, Ron. Hillary loses every time.
So obviously at the end of the debate, I will make the Super Bowl bet, which will determine the champion for the upcoming year. Earlier today, we saw the New England Patriots knock off Denver Broncos 10-7 in a hard-fought defensive battle. And right now, 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Seattle is up 31-20 on the LA Rams. But we're already seeing, regardless of who wins tonight's game, NFC will be favored against the Patriots. That's going to be an interesting bet. It's early on.
To be.
I think the line is really going to depend where I go with this.
Okay. You can just say right now you already know what you're going to bet on. And you're going to bet on the losing side. We all know this. The belt returns to New Jersey. Ron, we've got 55 minutes into this episode. I'm sure we've got some good stories that we've lined up.
We've got some other good stories. This one from the world of sports, Brian. This was kind of surprising. We talked last year about the passing of Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay back in May at the age of 65. Well, now there apparently is an FBI investigation into his death and the potential involvement of a California doctor who reportedly prescribed him pills and ketamine.
That's not good. We all know that when you start taking ketamine, eventually you are going to pass out in your pool in the backyard. In the jacuzzi in your backyard.
Jacuzzi. And
you
little Matthew Perry reference, or Matthew Broderick, or
you think Matthew Broderick kills people. Remember, he got into a car accident in Ireland and killed that lady and got away without any level of punishment. Matthew Broderick kills people. Matthew Perry dies.
Gotcha. Anyway, back to Jim Irsay. He'd been arrested a couple of times for DUI. He had talked publicly about his experience with substance abuse, including multiple overdoses. So now a grand jury subpoena has been issued, and people close to Irsay have been contacted. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, I think all of the doctors tied to Matthew Perry are doing some sort of jail time, if I remember. Like they all pled guilty to something or other.
Right. That is just scary. Some scary shit.
Let's see, what else can we fit in here before we get out of here?
You said the same thing to Mrs. Ron last night, no?
That's so wrong.
I love that woman.
The other question is, Brian, and it's an important one. How much longer do we think Donald Trump is still going to be on this mortal coil? I'm seeing a ton of videos on TikTok where people are pointing out, his cognitive issues, his physical issues. He's got, random bruising all over his hands and neck. People are saying he's got like 3 to 6 months left, but I think that's just way too optimistic.
I think there's a lot of people who want him to not be president, and therefore they are over exaggerating the likelihood of his passing. What they're forgetting here is that man has access to the best medical care in the modern world, meaning of all the people that have ever lived in the history of mankind. Donald Trump has better health care than any of them. It's with each president. Right now, I mean, it's just wild. So if you remember when he got COVID during the pandemic, people were still dropping dead from that.
Everybody was so optimistic.
He was taken to the hospital. He was pumped up with everything that they knew would work. And he was back in the White House in a few days. This man is not going to die while he is president. If there was ever a level of sycophants surrounding him that would absolutely, to ensure that they maintain their power, prop him up, literally weekend at Bernie him for the next 3 years of his presidency, they'll do it. You think Stephen Miller is going to sit there and be like, I don't know if JD Vance is really going to dig me well, I guess I'll tell him that Trump's passed away. No. Stephen Miller will literally be sitting there pumping embalming fluid into the base of Trump's neck to ensure his place of power. These people will lie. They're lying right now today. You think they're going to sit there and be like, all right, gigs up. JD's the president. No, not at all. The only person that would do that would likely be future First Lady Erica Kirk. We know that she would immediately have Ursula Vance. Is that her name? Ursa.
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know what JD's wife is, but we know she recently announced that she was pregnant, which is a classic Republican page out of the playbook, which is when people are saying that your marriage is on the rocks, just get pregnant and everyone's going to forget about it.
Fixes everything. All right, next up, Brian, we've got we go to Florida, as we often do. We always get great stories from Florida. And this is in regards to a man with a fast money tattoo who apparently, here's a little mugshot of him, doesn't like it when people don't have his money. This is Fernando D. Carvalho. He approached three men sitting on a corner in Miami's Little River neighborhood on Wednesday afternoon and asked one of the men for $1. The man told him he didn't have any money and started to walk away when he suddenly heard a gunshot. Witnesses told police that D. Carvalho began acting erratic and pointed the gun at the man and threatened, "I will shoot you." Police responded, and he was found nearby, as well as a shell casing at the scene. He was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and unlawful discharge of a firearm.
Jeez, that is scary shit.
This is why I don't go into public anymore, because there's just too much craziness out there these days.
You can't. It is some scary shit.
And then let's get one final in there. Well, let's go to Pittsburgh. We don't pick on Pittsburgh enough. A public official and a police department employee are accused of publicly engaging in a sexual act in front of children. Police say the incident happened on the sidewalk outside Caliente Pizza in Sewickley back on December 28th. Investigators say Robert Huffmeyer, a sitting Ohio Township supervisor, and Jenna Ging, a clerk with the Ohio Township Police Department, are accused of engaging in a sex act in plain view of the public. Investigators said a father was walking with his two children, ages 9 and 13, saw the alleged incident and called police. Court documents say that by the time police officers arrived, the pair had already left the area, but police said they did not go far. Investigators found them down the street, parked outside the Sewickley Borough Police Department, allegedly engaged in the same sexual act inside of an SUV.
Really?
Township records show Huffmeyer is married with 3 children. Neither the township board nor the police department have responded to requests for comment, and the pair is due in court early next month.
Why are there so many people having sex in their car? We started off with the story of a lawyer masturbating, and now you've got this couple. Is the car? I've never seen a car as a romantic spot. I don't get it.
When I was, in high school, in college, it was a place to do that kind of thing. Now, I think I would wrench my back something fierce. Like you would have to fortunately, I'd be in the car because you just have to take me to the emergency room after that.
Sure. But I remember when we were in college, you used to tell me that the 13-year-old girls in the local,
nope.
What? No,
I did not. No.
You sure?
I am sure. Brian,
you used to impress him with your what? What do we got?
Puka Nacua scores a touchdown, closing the lead. It's now 31-27 Seattle. More importantly, Brian, we win our Puka Nacua bet, and we cash in on that.
All right. Now we just need Seattle to hold on.
All right. Well,
who are you rooting for in the late game?
I can go either way. As you
did that a lot in college.
I think I would like to see Seattle in it because it's been a while. I mean, the Rams won a few years ago. and see Sam Darnold after leaving the Jets franchise, showing that he can actually quarterback an NFL team. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I like either of the NFC teams against the Patriots. We'll just have to see what the line is. Now, do I get to tweak the line a little bit when I make my Super Bowl bet, or do I have to pick what's out there?
You asshole. Where on earth do you think you get the power to just be like, oh,
where do I get the power?
The Seahawks.
This title belt gives me the power.
Oh, I set you up for that one, you son of a bitch. Well done, Ron. No, you do not. We use whatever Vegas's line. I will let you pick either DraftKings or FanDuel, but you have to make that pick. Now, the question is, are you locked into making that pick next Sunday, or are you making it? Will you be doing a special social media video the day of the Super Bowl? Because I know you like to take the weather forecast, the alignment of the planets, whether your wife has provided you with sex or not that day. You like to use all the different variables of a day before making your Super Bowl pick.
I'm not going to tip my hand too soon, Brian. You'll have to wait and see. Next Monday night, folks, Monday night, 8 p.m. is the debate. But tonight, 9:30 is our After Dark for our Patreon subscribers. If you look at the scroll on the screen, you go to cultofronandbrian.com. You click in the upper right-hand corner. If you join at the $10 a month level or higher, you get to join live on our Patreon After Dark. Tonight, last Sunday of the month, we do a pajama party. We have all of our Patreon subscribers on. And tonight, we will be competing in Can You Beat Brian? As he mentioned earlier, a trivia contest. 15 questions tonight on a topic that will remain secret to everybody until we start the contest in just about a half hour from now. So, Brian, another fantastic episode. Kudos to you.
Nope, you carried this one, champ. You carried the weight of it. I think I delivered at best a B-. You delivered A game, as you always do, reminding people why you've got that belt behind you. You are the champion. This is your show.
This is all me right now. Well, thank you all for joining us. Patreon folks, we'll see you in a little bit. Brian, anything else before we cut out of here?
None. I love you, buddy. Let's keep doing this show throughout the year, regardless of who wins the championship belt.
All right. Love you too, my friend. Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you next Monday night.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of The Cult of Ron and Brian. A non-tax deductible contribution can be made by subscribing to our Patreon. Visit cultofronandbrian.com and click on Become a Patron. We'll see you again next week.